after everything we've heard tonight, it may sound a bit simplistic, but I believe in books. You might think it, perhaps anyone who's inhabited this world, this small blue marble that we call home for almost 7 decades, might have something more profound than books. Perhaps an epiphany gained while flying combat over Vietnam, or maybe a lesson learned through this painful aging process. Perhaps something my grandfather taught me. But the more I look into myself, the more it really all boils down to books. Books have been a driving force in my life since grade school, when I came down with chickenpox, followed immediately by the measles. In those less enlightened times, they thought that sunlight would damage your eyes if you had a high fever. And so I convalesced in a darkened room with only my mother reading to me for relief. But that made all the difference. Suddenly, rather than being a small child convalescing in a dark room, I was roaming a castle with Hamlet, and there were ghosts and pirates and sword fights and all kinds of adventure. That sense of adventure has never left me, but I quickly learned that there's a lot more to books than adventure stories. Books are, in fact, the repository of all human knowledge, of ideas. And the beauty of an idea is that it cannot exist in a vacuum, alone and untouched by other ideas. Every idea is connected to other ideas, and those ideas are connected, and those ideas are connected. And this interconnectedness forms a huge web that contains all human knowledge, and this web is ever expanding as long as we keep thinking and learning. Einstein described our personal knowledge as contained in a small circle. Everything we know, every thought, every dream is in that small circle. Everything we do not know is outside that circle, touched at the circumference. But the paradox arises as we learn more. As we learn more, that circle expands, but so does the circumference of the unknown. The more we know we don't know. But that web of ideas that I mentioned earlier, that great web of human intelligence can overcome that vast unknown that's outside that circle. Not all at once, of course, but relentlessly, as long as we're willing to think our own thoughts and compare them with the ideas of others. Of course, just reading a book isn't enough. Socrates, through the voice of Plato, maintained that books are invalid for presenting positions or arguments. He said that books do not allow a response and cannot be adequately questioned. With respect, these learned philosophers, I think, missed an idea. I question every book I read, even the Bible. Accepting dogma without questioning is letting others do your thinking for you. Love of learning requires love of thinking. Through questioning, even questions unanswered by authors, new insights and new ideas are developed. Books, if properly examined, stimulate the mind and lead to exciting ideas and places. John Dewey, American educator and philosopher, declared that all education is the result of personal experience. However, in this short life, a person can only experience so much compared with everything that might be accomplished. The solution, of course, is books. Books are a monument of ideas, and through a relationship with books, we continue to enrich our own experiences, and when we share our ideas, the amount of knowledge in the world increases. Imagine you're on a path, and you have a loaf of bread. You come upon some strangers, and you give them the bread. They walk away, but you're left hungry. And now imagine you're on that same path with an idea, and you walk down that path, and you meet these strangers, and you give them your idea. Everybody walks away with more knowledge, and the knowledge is spread. That's the purpose of ideas. That's the purpose of love of learning. That is the purpose of books. Thank you.